Hey guys, Kalai Brink here, and I want to talk to you about the keto diet and kind of the beginner's guide to the keto diet and give you the most information that's going to be the easiest to understand as far as the keto diet goes. So the keto diet is low carb, moderate protein, high fat, and the ketogenic lifestyle is basically reducing your carbohydrates. So, don't be eating like sugars, breads, pastas, those type of things. Most likely, most of your calories are coming from those things just because standard American diet, that's how we eat. But you can eliminate carbs from foods you eat and only eat carbs that come from above ground vegetables, such as green leafy vegetables, spinach, all those things. Don't eat, or shouldn't say don't eat, but cut back on eating maybe like potatoes, starchy vegetables like carrots and peas, that kind of things, because those vegetables are going to produce a lot of insulin in your bloodstream, which is going to then cause insulin spikes and make it really difficult to lose weight. Once you change your meal planning to this, like lower carb, moderate protein, high fats, healthy fats, of course, you're going to start feeling amazing. You're going to feel increased energy, mental clarity, and just feel amazing and a lot better overall. Better sleep, digestion, skin, all of those things are going to come when you're following a more ketogenic diet. And it's also going to help you to lose weight a little bit more easily, and you're not going to be deprived because you are getting those healthy fats in, even though you're kind of depleting or decreasing those carbohydrates out of your diet. So beginning of following the ketogenic diet, don't have to count calories. You want to be eating plenty of healthy fats. One of the biggest mistakes that, and even myself was guilty of on my health journey, is staying away from fats and being afraid of fat, getting everything low fat, all that stuff. But what research has found and everything like that with the ketogenic diet and scientists and stuff that I've been following, nutritionists, what they've been finding with the ketogenic diet is actually the opposite of what we've been told, that fats are actually healthy for us. So you don't want to be eating every 2 to 3 hours with the ketogenic diet like we've been told. With a low calorie, low fat diet, I personally eat about 3 meals a day, and I do an intermittent fasting. I follow like an 8-hour window of intermittent fasting. I have another video on my page here that you guys can check out about intermittent fasting and all about that. But you want to be eating, like, say 3 big meals a day. Don't be eating every 2-3 hours. That's just, again, going to be spiking your blood sugar and causing that insulin to come into play and making you not able to lose weight as quickly as you'd like. So with keto, you can easily go stretches without eating. Those stretches allow your body to digest the food you eat, burn the calories you eat, and you'll end up actually feeling full and eating less overall after you kind of become more fat adapted. So the biggest benefits with keto, why should you eat more keto? Of course, listen to your body. When you're hungry, you're not just emotionally eating for reasons that we're all guilty of that. I still fall into that sometimes too. But we usually eat just because, it's breakfast. We're supposed to eat at breakfast. It's lunch. You're supposed to eat at lunch. Just listen to your body and eat more when you are hungry and when your body tells you it needs more fuel. Don't just eat for emotional reasons or just because it's those certain times to eat. So once you start eliminating all those things, decreasing carbs, decreasing your insulin spikes, all of that, you're going to start feeling so much better. And the body will transition from being like a glucose burner, burning glucose, which is the breakdown of carbs, sugars, all of that. It's going to transition from burning that glucose as its primary fuel source to now burning fat as its primary fuel source. So it's really, really important that you're actually eating enough healthy fats, because that's going to be your body's new fuel source. So make sure you're eating enough healthy fats. That's kind of where people fall off in a way, but make sure you can eat like your healthy bacon, your avocado, cheese, heavier food sources like that, and lose weight. And the thing is, because you're going to be eating a lot less, but it's very, very satisfying, so you feel actually a lot fuller for a lot longer as well when you're eating fats, because your body's able to burn that fuel and break down those fats and burn that for fuel longer, versus when you're eating carbs, glucose, all that stuff. It's kind of a quick fuel source and then it depletes and you're hungry again. That's why you feel hungry every couple hours when you're following that. Me following a more keto-based diet now, I honestly am I can do intermittent fasting super easily because I just don't feel that hungry. I eat my healthy fats and good fuel sources for that, and that makes me feel satisfied, not hungry for most of the day. Let me see here. So super simple to start. Obviously talk to your guys' doctors if you're diabetic, pregnant. You really obviously don't want to be depleting yourself of calories or certain things like that. So check into those things. If you guys have any health concerns, always check with your healthcare provider first before starting anything. Otherwise, the first week you may notice some like withdrawal symptoms from carbs, sugars, all those things. We call it the keto flu. You might feel a little sick, maybe dehydrated, because when you're in a state of ketosis, it's pulling fat from the cells, which is also pulling water, kind of like a diuretic effect. Meaning it's pulling that water, making you feel more dehydrated. So make sure you're drinking plenty of water if you're following a keto diet, and you can replenish with like some Himalayan salt on your foods. Maybe add a little Himalayan salt to your water. Get in your maybe some magnesium, electrolytes, multivitamins, all those things. Make sure you're doing those different things while following it. So like I said, check your fridge, eggs, bacon, sausage, like check the labels. That they're coming from good sources, but those are kind of some of the things that you can be eating. So next thing I get asked is like, how do you track on the keto diet? We go off of, for the most part, net carbs. So how are those tracked? Well, net carbs are your total carbs. So if you're reading a nutrition label, so I'll just use my back of my ketones here. If you're reading a nutrition label, for example, the total carbs on here, I don't know if you can see it, is 5. And then our dietary fiber is 0. So technically that would be meaning 5 net carbs. But with keto, you also minus off the sugar alcohol. So there's sugar alcohol. It's not focusing, sorry. So carbs minus fiber and also minus the sugar alcohol. The sugar alcohol here is 4. So 5 carbs minus 4 sugar alcohols is going to equal about that 1 net carb. Now say it was 5 carbohydrates, or let's see a good example here. Say it was 10 on the label. It says total carbohydrates 10 grams, and then it says right underneath there dietary fiber 5 grams. Then that's going to be obviously your 10 of carbohydrates minus your 5 grams of fiber to equal 5 net carbs. So just again, once again, it's your net carbs are calculated by looking at the back or your nutrition label, and it's going to be the total carbohydrates minus your fibers, and then if there is any sugar alcohols in it, you're going to minus that as well, and that's going to give you your total net carbs. You can also use something like an app, I think it's called Carb Manager. That's a pretty good app to use if you guys are following a keto diet. So check that app out. It's really awesome for figuring it out, and you can set your percentages of like carbs, fats, and proteins and stuff like that. So usually they suggest kind of starting out with like 30 net carbs per day or less. Obviously depends on your starting weight, what your goals are, all of that stuff. But just for like a starting point for getting started, maybe set your goal for 30 net carbs per day or less. And also using that app is kind of nice for plugging in different foods. They have tons of stuff registered on there. If you're eating out, go here or there, you can just, or even just different food things, you can punch it in how much of it you ate, and it's going to give you the breakdown of everything, including the net carbs. So that's kind of cool with that Carb Manager app. And of course, you can definitely go lower on your net carbs, and the lower you can go as far as fat loss to a certain point is better. But you may need to be higher if you're diabetic or have certain medications you're on, or anything like that. Always talk to your doctor. Like I said, these are just kind of the basics of the keto diet. So micros, macros, what all is this all about? With the keto diet, basically you're going to be focusing on your macros, which are your percentage of fats, percentage of proteins, percentage of carbs in the foods that you eat. So keto is usually about 70% calories from healthy fats like avocados, salad dressings, butters, healthy fat meats, beef, all those things. So meats like chicken are a little more on the leaner side, so they're going to have more protein than fats. So you just might need to add in some more healthy fats like avocado with that meal. And you'll get better with it as you go as well. Or obviously like Pinterest, all those things have tons of different recipes and ideas as well. So you'll want to do about 70% calories from healthy fats, about 5 to 10% from carbs, and then 20% from protein. And that can, you can scale that here or there, depending on how strict of a keto diet or how more lazy keto that you want to be. That is going to depend on that, but that is kind of the basics of it. So you want to don't want to keep your protein source too high either, just because your body's can turn that protein into glucose if it's too high, and then utilize that the same way as it utilizes carbs. So good to get a moderate protein in, but don't get it too high either if you're following a keto diet. You want to keep your body in a state of ketosis. Ketosis is the state in which your body is starting to burn fat for fuel and produce ketones in the body. And these ketones is what actually is an energy source for your body, for your brain. Excuse me. It makes you just so many benefits to that. Mental clarity, digestion, clearer skin, sleep better, better mood, fat loss, obviously, and tons of other things like that. So you can test for these ketones, that if you're in a state of ketosis, you'll be able to test for ketones. You can get urine strips off of just like Amazon. Otherwise, testing your blood is obviously the absolute best way. Sometimes even if you get more fat adapted and you've been in ketosis for a while or doing this for a while, your body starts to utilize those ketones really, really well, and you might not even have those ketones in your urine. So it's not always the best indicator, but for starting out, you could definitely do that as a cheap option. Otherwise, personally, myself, I just go off of how I feel. I can feel when I'm in a state of ketosis just because of the energy, clarity, mental clarity, and all the different things that I feel when I'm in it. And like I said, our brain actually thrives off of ketones as a fuel source versus glucose. So you're going to have that mental clarity, and you will notice a huge difference when you start feeling that mental clarity. And it may take a week or so to get into the groove of things. But make sure that you are doing low carb. Don't do low carb and low fat at the same time, because obviously you are going to starve yourself. And I know that I kind of can be guilty of that as well, like feeling like you can't eat a lot of carbs, but you want to stay low fat. That's not what keto is at all. You want to have high healthy fats. So that is going to be your new fuel source. So make sure you're consuming enough healthy fats. And then, like I said, the different apps that you can use, Carb Manager, all of those different tools to help you stay on track and look into those things as far as where you're at for the day and how much maybe net carbs until you get the hang of it are in things. Go back, watch this video again, and hopefully this helped. That's just like the keto beginner guide in a nutshell. I could go on, and you can check out my different videos on my channel on the keto diet, tips for the keto diet, biggest mistakes with keto, all those different things, exogenous ketones that I use. Check out my channel for those different things. That's how I get in a state of ketosis, because I do like to have a few carbs here and there, and I don't follow a super strict keto diet. I do definitely eat more keto, but I'm not super strict about it. So I'm not always in a state of ketosis from nutritional diet wise. So I use my exogenous ketones, which I just dump in with water and ice, shake it, drink it. Within less than an hour, I'm in a state of ketosis. So that's pretty awesome. Like I said, check out my channel. I'll post links below this as well on exogenous ketones if you guys are interested in more information. I'll have that all linked below. I also have a free group you guys can join. I have example keto meal plans for beginners, how to do intermittent fasting, how to figure out your different macros, what you should be on for your weight and gender, all that stuff. And as well as all the information about exogenous ketones, sales. I share my fitness stuff that I'm doing and tons of other things in that free group. So I'm going to link that below here, and please join, like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I am going to be making tons more videos in the future as well on ketones, keto, intermittent fasting, and fitness stuff like that. So make sure to subscribe to my channel and check back in. See you guys later.